Hello planet, hello people of planet Earth, citizens of the world. Here I am back. So, it's been a very long time since I uploaded anything to this channel, and this is actually connected with many changes in my life that I went through last 7 years, because let me double check that for you. Last video I recorded over here was recorded exactly on 28th of February 2019. So it was like, yeah, a little over 6 years ago. And the last video was about Chiron in Aries, about the transit of Chiron in Aries, which we are now slowly ending. This transit will come to an end very, very soon, because next year, and basically from next year, Chiron will move to the sign of Taurus. So, where was I, and why it took me so long to actually record anything for this channel? By no means it's not a confession or anything like that, because I was kind of busy with my own life and with my own personal transformation, because it's really actually interesting that the last channel I left on this, not channel, not the last video I left on this channel was right about Chiron in Aries. So the theme of the video was about healing, about understanding your independence, what it means to be independent, what it means to be like be yourself, simply put. Basically, when we talk about Aries, a sign of Aries, at the moment there's a lot of stuff happening in the beginning degrees of Aries, but when it comes to Chiron in Aries, this theme is present also today. Why today? Because today, 12th of April, at night, a late night for Europe, we will have full moon in the sign of Libra. And next to the Sun, there is a conjunction of Sun and Chiron in Aries. So what does it mean? And basically it means that today, whatever your wound, whatever your troubles are when it comes to understanding your own weaknesses, I would say when it comes to Chiron, it's not really like a weakness, but it's more like this. I like to compare it to the stone in a boot, right? So you have your shoes or boots, and there is a small stone, and it kind of, you feel it when you walk in these boots, walk in these shoes, and you gotta move on, you gotta keep on going, and this stone is at all times there, every step you take. And for me, this is actually a metaphor when it comes to a wound which is almost impossible to heal. But if you objective enough, if you see this wound for what it is, you can accept it. And from this point, when you accept it, there is open road, open way actually to the process which is called individuation. So today, tonight, actually, this full moon, it will reveal all of our wounds, if we healed, if we're not healed, if we're emotionally weak as well, because let's call it like it's a full moon in Libra. So Libra is all about balance, but it's never balanced. That's the biggest misconception when it comes to Libra, because through this archetype it shows us extremities, extreme opposed forces. So you'll be able to see that in your daily life in the next days, because this full moon in Libra, and actually what I have for you guys, you can also check this screen which is in front of you, on which I actually I put there a birth chart when it comes to the full moon moment, right? So at the moment, when it comes to full moon in Libra, moon alone over there in the sign of Libra, it serves as a counterbalance to what's happening in the sign of Aries and the sign of Pisces at the moment. So this is a very potent moon because, first of all, presence of Chiron over there, it will, it will do, it will tell you directly what are these planets in the beginning degrees of Aries, what are they going to do for you. So astrology, yes, its application, we can apply astrology on a global level, but we can also apply it on the individual level. And this is most important for me, like what the sky tells to you, right? So during this full moon, there is a chance to see extremities in your relationships that you built throughout your life, but also this full moon, in my opinion, has a huge potential to heal wounds, and heal a wound of being independent, of being you, however you are. Basically, what we are learning at the moment, we're learning that we need to accept ourselves with all our flaws and good sides as well. So, you know, at the moment we just exited Mercury retrograde, right? Now, at the moment of the full moon, there is also Venus stationing, and you can actually observe that on the chart. There is a small letter S next to Venus in Pisces, and this strengthens the energy of the moon, just because the Venus is ruler of the full moon in Libra, right? So when the ruler stations, the Venusian energies are much more stronger. They're much stronger, basically. So we all feel our relation to the outside world, because when you think about Libra in a really broad scape, and maybe a bit of a metaphysical point of view when it comes to this archetype, Libra is all about relation. Relation to what? Relation of two human beings as well. But first of all, when we look from the person-centered kind of point of view, Libra is a relationship towards outside world. What's around you? What's your relationship towards the world you don't know? Towards something which is foreign for you, right? Because Libra, we always, like, when it comes to consciousness, a human consciousness, it can exist only when there is relation, right? So basically, if we wouldn't have relation with the outside world, external world around us, we wouldn't be able to actually observe this mystery which life is. So what are we going through at the moment is changing your attitude towards the outside world, and the position of Venus next to Saturn in Pisces, it is a very sobering energy of these two planets, because when we connect Venus and Saturn, it's like they strip away all of the illusions people were telling themselves, and it leaves only bare like a bones, basically. And you're no longer able to ignore that the reality that you live in is this reality, and there's no other reality. So we are changing the approach towards the external world, also with a huge dose of acceptance to what is, right? Because lately, since Mr. You-know-who was actually became a president, people kind of panicked. People kind of, went into the chaos mode. And this is often what is actually present when planets are in the balsamic phases. So at the moment we have a balsamic phase of pretty much all of the planets in Pisces towards Neptune. Balsamic phase is like the moment which is just before the conjunctions of two planets, and it's like a summary of a very long cycle and the process. So you can think about it that it's not enough that actually we have just planets in Pisces, an extra energy over there in this this stellium of planets, comes from the fact that they're all in the balsamic phase to Neptune. Saturn will slowly and but surely conjunct Neptune next year. Venus already conjuncted, already did this aspect towards Neptune, because Venus at the moment stationed, so it just went out of retrograde from a sign of Aries towards sign of Pisces. So this balsamic phase, it's we have like a step, 2 steps front, 1 steps back, right? These planets, they all the time activate 2 phases, 2 planetary phases. So first one would be actually the one that we are coming from, a balsamic phase, and the second one would be when all of these planets, in particular Venus, Saturn, and Mercury as well, if they cross Neptune in Aries, this will be a totally different kind of a environment that we'll find ourselves in. You can see that many things in the world at the moment, they're ending, they kind of culminating to a certain point. And culmination, it's a characteristics of the balsamic phase between 2 planets, or even more in this case. So this is a time to sober up and really accept that from an individual point of view, we cannot really accept, we cannot really change much, because world, right, is governed by people at the moment, people who want power. They have their own motivations and reasons why they're doing what they're doing, and it is really unproductive to basically, you know, like sit with the crossed hands and be like mad at the world. Conjunction of Venus and Saturn, it is there for you to accept it, that it is what it is. Okay, world went a little bit crazy, it goes this way, maybe I don't want to go the same direction, but I have my own life, I have my own desires, I have my own evolution. And this is where the Chiron in Aries comes during this full moon, in today's full moon in Libra, right? So moon in Libra actually pulls you towards the external world. It tells you, look, there's so many things happening in the outside world, right? There is a chaos on the political scene, global political scene. There's chaos in the economy, right, in the global economy, and here's you, right? So what you gonna do about it? And this is the healing that can come from this moment, from exactly this full moon in Libra, a healing of Chiron, which is focusing on yourself, right? If there is storm outside you, what can you do to actually not like neglect it and totally ignore the storm around you, but what can you do to survive it and to actually still be able to feel that you're progressing, that you're growing, that you want to go in a direction that actually it's calling you, right? Because the energy of planets in the sign of Aries, this is like a calling, it's like a wake-up call, it's a spark, it's ignition of something, what is about to come, or what you are about to become, right? So it's very potent full moon, in my opinion, of course. So this was the update of the channel, and I'm not sure if anyone actually look in and watching it, because probably not, because for 7 years there was nothing. There was just silence. So I was just thinking that maybe I'm going to start again from time to time, giving some extra updates about what do I think about astrology of the present time, because I realized that you know, there is a value in just sharing your own opinion, just sharing your own perspective on life and what's happening and why it is happening. So I do believe that the present chaos and, you know, this craziness, it is only it's only for the moment, and this moment could last a month or 3 months or 4 months, but I do think that this is for the better. I do think that what's happening in USA, because USA as a country, it goes through the right, Pluto return, and soon I believe there's another one, Uranus return. What's going on there, it's meant to happen, because I do believe that people progressing into the digital world, and we're going to progress more and more into this direction, just because we are having a transit of Pluto in Aquarius, soon trining Uranus in Gemini. So this is a natural trine between two air signs, which, and the two planets which are generational planets, which are in air signs. I do think that we are going into this age of technology, and I do think that what's happening in from actually what's the move initiated from US, because US has huge influence over the rest of the countries of the world, it's actually necessary, because the previous people who were there, they weren't capable of providing infrastructure for what's to come, right? So we are progressing towards new reality, and we cannot rely on the old solutions. And this is the reason why everything looks so crazy, and it looks like the world is upside down, like it stands on its head, right? But to me, I think there is a reason why all of that is happening, and the reason is to basically bring us up as a humanity to a bigger level, but it cannot be in a very sustained and kind of a, like a easygoing, gradual way. These times, when there is a change, there is a chaos as well, right? So we should use it, in my opinion. And this moment, which is today, this full moon in Libra, this is very, very liberating, in a way that it's liberating in a direction of acceptance of that the world is changing, how I'm gonna position myself, according to these changes that are happening. So maybe I'm gonna give you in the next videos a few updates what I was doing last 7 years, but I'm not sure if that's even possible to do. But yeah, if you don't follow me, I do have a second YouTube channel as well. However, it's in a different language. It's in my native mother tongue, my native language, which you can hear that English is in my first language. But I hope it's actually communicative for you the way I talk to you. So what I was doing, I was building my astrological practice. I was writing forecasts, astrological forecasts. I was studying astrology. A huge immense time actually that I've spent was on self-studying, and I was just providing this type of knowledge, but in Polish language, for people who maybe are in some way restricted to this knowledge, and especially to the knowledge which comes from the school of evolutionary astrology, because I believe that this approach is something that is missing on the Polish scene of astrology. There's not too many, like a humanistic type of astrologers, and I do believe that a humanistic approach towards astrology, the one that Dane Rudyard had, for example, this is the next level, this is the next step that we should build upon to be able to achieve another higher level of astrological application of this knowledge, right, to your daily life. So that's what I was doing. Basically, I was recording videos in Polish language. I was traveling the world. Some of these videos that you can see on this channel, last videos, they're from Australia. I came back from Australia already. Now I live in Ireland. I live 2 minutes away from one of the most amazing national parks with really ancient feeling of nature, and a sacred feeling of nature around me. So my time spent was really on last 3 years actually that I spent here in Ireland. I used to have a day job, I used to get interested in cryptocurrency, stuff like that. But I also spend a lot of time in nature, among the trees, just meditating, just being there present. Because first time I entered these forests here, this greenery, where I am, I felt a hit, like an energy hit, that, oh, okay, I'm in a place where people, and people who used to live here hundreds of years, they understood how to connect with nature, right? You can feel that there is a different energy in a place. There is something sacred when people who live in these regions actually, even if it's like historical, if they understood that human beings are connected to the nature, because nature is our source. Source is not out there in the clouds. Nature is our source. And in this place, when I entered for the first time, this national park, it just hit me. And I was like, okay, all these fairies, leprechauns of Ireland, all these things, this is not some kind of mumbo jumbo mumbo jumbo made up story. This is real. You can feel this in the presence of the forest when you're already there. So that's what I was doing. I was basically soul searching. I was reading many metaphysical books from Paracelsus, Dane Rudyard, Manly Palmer Hall. I was like Rudolf Steiner books. I read a lot of books actually the last few years, and this opened me up a little bit to think differently about the, like, in general, what's life, what's the mystery of life. So I hope you will find something for yourself on this channel. Of course, if I keep on continue doing that, because as you can see, it's not updated. The channel is not updated as frequently as you would want, for example. So yeah, let's keep fingers crossed that I will have enough time actually and space to do these videos as well here for you on this channel. So from now on, if you're listening to this, welcome back, and I wish you easy, happy, and first of all, very productive full moon, because these energies of Chiron, they bring us potential to heal some of our wounds, some of our existential wounds. And that's for it for today, so take care.